Yeah, hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In last videos, we learned about the GraphQL CRUD operations, right? How to fetch, delete, update, post, right? Those all operations we have covered, right? I just made a few changes here. Just want to give the update. So earlier, we created each files of each mutations, whether it's a add, update, or delete, right? But you can write the code in this way also. You can have one mutation which has all the fields basically. Okay? This is also a way to write the code. Okay, whichever is suitable, you can prefer that. Okay, I will keep this all the a link in the description of the repos. Okay, so yeah, so today's video we'll see like okay, so basically I have created one transaction model. Okay, now let's say I have a user and I have a transactions also. User has a transactions, right? This is a relationship which I'm which I'm creating. Okay, user has a transaction. So to get the users and their transactions, so basically we need to join the two tables by using user ID. So user ID is my foreign key, which is a user table of ID, right? So to get the details of each of the transactions, I need to join with these two tables, right? But what if I don't want to join, right? So without joining two tables also you can get the result. Okay. So how we will see into this video. Okay. So I have created one transactions. Okay. You can just uncomment this and this will create the table for you. Okay. I created already, so I just comment down here. This is my simplest model which I created, which is a ID, user ID, amount and date. Okay, now we'll see. I have created two things here. One is fetch uh, the transactions and they create the transaction. So if you see in user transactions basically, okay, in user transactions, what I created transactions. So basically wherever you are creating type now, so that time I'm we should have the table associated to it so that you can create the type of it. Okay, there are some certain cases also we need to create type but it is not associated some tables. Okay, so that is something a different use case, but definitely if you have table should create the type. Okay, so in oops, like if you see like uh, in oops concept, we should not have everything into one type, right? We should have certain limitation on you should write something which is relevant or related to that particular class, right? So if you see transactions, so transactions I'm just creating a in transaction instance, okay, which will fetch my uh, transaction basically, which is a get user transactions. Okay, and this is my second static method is to create the user transaction basically, right? So this is my method to create the transaction. This my method is to fetch the transactions, right? So if I see user transactions, this is my CRUD operation. Okay, I have created a different CRUD operation which is user transactions, which has my get user transactions and create user transaction basically. Okay, user transactions. So this while fetching the records, I want on the user ID base, right? Which user ID has that transactions, right? So those kind of details I want to fetch. So I just added the where clause here. Okay. To insert, it's a straightforward. Whatever the transactions model in the transactions model, whatever the input transactions that I am defining, that I want to directly insert into this model. Okay. So basically, this model also I have created into the schema of user transactions, which has this. These are my input type basically: user ID, amount, and date. Pretty straightforward. Okay. Now we'll see. Uh, okay. This is for create. Okay. Now I have the mutation of create. Where is my mutation? Okay. Create user transaction. This is my mutation. I'm calling the create user transactions, which is my to create the transactions. Okay. Now coming to the fetch, right? This is a straightforward. This also we see in while creating a user, right? But now coming to the fetch transactions, right? This is my fetch user data. When I go here, right? This is my user. Okay. In the last video also we see this user. This user will fetch my this user details, right? Now user has a transaction. So user has a transaction. That means user has some relation with that transactions, right? So I created a field here, okay, which is a strawberry dot field. which is fetching my transaction details, which is written into the transaction table. Okay, this is to fetch my transaction. How this is fetching? If you see here, which is a transaction. So this is fetching with my IDs, right? So how this will work? Let's say you have five user ID. So each user ID it will go and call this particular method. Okay, first user, second user, third user, fourth user. Accordingly, it will map to your each user. Okay, each user it will map the all the transactions basically here. Okay, now we'll see how this will work. Okay, this is one create field, and this will call the transactions instance which has the user ID associated, right? Straightforward. Now we'll run our server and we'll see how this will work. Okay, server is running. We'll go to this. Okay, that's right. Now we'll refresh this. Want to remove all. First of all, we'll add the. Okay, first of all, we'll fetch. If you see when I uh, open this fetch user, I do see a fetch user transactions, right? So if I want only this one, these details, you can fetch these details. Okay, right? If you want this fetch user transactions also, fetch that transactions. Okay? If you see, I last time I have added some transactions already. So if you see this user ID 2 has some transactions, two transactions is added, right? So this will map with, if you see user ID 2, it has a ID. So means this is a foreign key and primary key relationship, right? We have maintained. So this is how it will map. Okay. If you see for 5, it will already map to a fifth of transactions. Means a user ID of 5. Now we'll try to insert the transactions of 6. Okay. So I'll close this. I will open the mutation, which is a add user transactions, right? I want to add for user 6. Okay, let's change to 6. I will, whatever the data you wants to return, click on that basically, and I want to make the amount as, let's say, 100, and date, let's say, 0505. Okay, once you done, if you see the user transaction has added, right? User ID 6. Now if you fetch this, where is my fetch query? So once you click on fetch my query, so the sixth ID, right? Sixth, yeah, for sixth ID my transactions are added, right? You see it is correctly mapped with it. So to map this, I supposed to join with two different tables, but in GraphQL you can directly create a field and it will map it accordingly, right? This is the benefit of it, of the GraphQL basically. Okay, hope you understand this, right? I have created the user, I have fetched the users, whatever the data you want to fetch, it is again support. If you don't want, you just want which user ID and amount, right? So you can fetch it accordingly. For this user ID 2, it has 1.5 transactions, 1.5 transaction, 100 transactions, right? So those kind of details also you can fetch, and this is very beneficial at if you see from the backend perspective. This will be beneficial because if you have a bunch of records and you don't want to join it with two different tables, and you want to fetch only that particular transaction, so basically you can filter out here. Okay, so that's how this will work. Now the thing is, if you do this right, so multiple times if you go to the fetch user, the multiple times this my database is getting called, right? For each user, this database is getting called. So for that, to avoid these, multiple database transactions or multiple database hit, we have a data loader for this. Okay. So we'll see into the next video. I'm going to create that video for to how to use the data loaders and how to add into it, because data loaders will be help, like this will uh, take all the data and only run once. Okay, okay, it will run from for the few batches basically. Okay, so there are few things are there: load many, load which is again for the one to one relationship, one to many relationship, right? So for those details we can see into the next video. Okay, so basically this is how the without joining two tables you can fetch the transactions and your their details basically. Hope you understand this video, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section, and please do like and subscribe to my channel. uh, in next upcoming videos I will add more how we can have the input type basically, which is again a filter to your fetch GraphQL query, right? I will add more videos for to have the input types and then the data loaders also. Okay, please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.